think AI is going to be a big accelerant because one of the reasons transformation is so hard is in the historical corporate structures we've inherited do a bunch of things that make it very hard to even see what's going on. So we separate tasks into similar tasks. And we put those tasks in what we call functions. And those functions are like in boxes and lines. And the reporting structure becomes the way things are aligned. But the reporting structure, as you well know, has absolutely nothing to do with how work actually gets done in the
No.
company. So information flows in these very convoluted paths throughout the organization. You would be hard pressed in a typical company to say who actually are the critical holders of the corporate culture way of advancing the who knows what the secret sauce is of how we get success, right? And if you don't know that and you try to embark on a transformation, it's almost like you're dealing with trying to put together a television with half the parts missing, and you've got to go figure that out. So one of the I guess three things I think that give me hope on this. The first thing is that we are seeing organizations experimenting with different ways of managing. And the consequences of that are we're seeing a flattening of structures. So people have a lot more visibility across the organization. They're not fighting their way through 11 layers of permission, right? The second thing is AI is now able to make transparent what was very difficult to make transparent before. And then the third thing is I think we're getting a lot smarter about what getting ahead means. So I'll give you the example of what they're doing at Bayer, which is being led by CEO Bill Anderson and his kind of right-hand guy, Michael Lurie. And what they're doing is they've worked out a system where everybody has a home, a professional home. So
Right.
if I'm an engineer, I have an engineering home. If I'm a marketer, I have a marketing home. And it's your home that figures out what level you are, how much you get paid, what your scope of authority is. And that's where you kind of live in your career.
Right.
Separately, there are a series of jobs and tasks and teams that operate on 90-day cycles. And the cycle to which you are assigned, the thing you're doing this 90 days, has a bearing on whether you advance, but it doesn't make that decision. Your organizational home has a group of people who are, say, 2 or 3 levels above you in your specialty that would give you feedback, decide when it's time to promote you, settle your compensation, tell you when you're screwing up, right? So that's where the feedback from the job comes in. But here's the thing. It takes so much of the return on politics out of the system that it's just magical. And people are now starting to settle into that.
How long have they been doing this?
They've been doing this 2 years now,
Yeah.
and Michael would tell you they're about, you think 60% of the way there. So what they've done is they've broken work into thousands, literally thousands of small teams, which are largely empowered to make pretty critical decisions on their own and which can do things at a local level that can then search around the company. So, as an example, there was a technical problem in one of their local subsidiaries, and to get corporate R&D and manufacturing and engineering and design to make this fix to something that just wasn't working with the local structure, the team there made a 3D printed part allowed it to solve this particular problem and
Right.
shaved probably 2 years off of the cycle time it would have taken had it gone through the normal process.
Well, that fits into some of your writing about dematerialization and how the world is changing. So, the ability to 3D print something massively changes the
Mhm,
whole supply chain, engineering, design,
mhm.
in the art of the possible.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating.